So the next thing that we do after onboarding, and this is a very simplified version of that, just for the sake of this workshop, this example workshop. But the next thing that we do immediately after onboarding people is to take them through our sprint principles and ground rules. So I'll take you through this very quickly, just explaining what each of these means. We'll apply them sort of naturally in the next exercise. But what we do at this point is just to kind of bring the volume down a little bit and just remind our workshop participants. Usually there's, as little as 2, as many as 10 people at this point. So this is our first sort of checkpoint for alignment and to get people to commit to a set of principles and rules that help govern the success of these workshops as a whole. So the most important values and principles that make our sprint successful, there's only 4. They're very simple. They don't require a lot of complicated or complex behavior adjustments, but yeah, let me explain them and it might become a bit clearer. So first thing we tell people is that getting started is better than being right. No one's ever going to come up with perfect ideas in the context of a sprint or a workshop. Our workshops are designed to get people's sort of not creative, that's the wrong word to use. Their thinking process is warmed up and ready to fire. So we encourage people at this point, even if they feel lost, if they feel totally out of ideas, just to start writing during any of these exercises, because once someone starts writing, it might spark an idea for them, it might spark an idea for somebody else. So getting started is the hard part, and once people get started, it's much better than trying to achieve perfection or be right in the limited context of a workshop itself. Together alone is our most important principle, so that means we're contributing together, all on a call together, all on the same workshop, but we mostly do this alone in the form of sticky notes. So there's no discussion really, there's no round tables, there's no back and forth. Most of our exercises are conducted almost in complete silence, except for workshop music that we use to fill that void. So we discourage discussion and encourage tangible contribution, essentially. And the next point speaks to that. Being tangible is better than discussion. If we can record something in the form of a sticky note or a vote or just a note that you want to write down on the board somewhere, it's always better than putting your hand up, unmuting yourself and discussing your ideas. If we don't record your ideas in any of our sessions, we can't carry them forward into future exercises and workshops. We don't see these workshops as creative exercises. Yes, there's a lot of color. Yes, there's a lot of exercises. Yes, it kind of breaks the mold of the average workday flow, but they're not creative spaces as much as they are these logical incremental spaces which allow people to freely express themselves, but not based on any sort of totally out there creative thinking. And then in terms of running the workshops, these are some things that we like to encourage. In terms of focus, we try to get our participants not to switch to other devices. We don't do it ourselves. We don't switch to email. We don't look at our phones. We commit to the exercises and stay laser focused in on them. We take short breaks every 90 minutes or so. Some workshops can be up to 3 or 4 hours long. So it's important that energy carries through the whole session. Right now, our entire workshop is going to take 10 minutes. We won't need a break. But in our longer workshops, it's very important that people do take breaks just to clear their mind, just to make sure that the energy is carried the whole way through. We also have someone who's called a decider. That's usually the product owner or the sprint commissioner. We always refer to them when there's a deadlock where votes are split down the middle or something like that, and we ask them to make a choice so we can disagree and commit. So the experts are the people who join our calls. They know more about the topic than we do as facilitators, so that's why we encourage them to get their ideas out as much as possible. And then there's us as facilitators. So those are the people who are leading the team through a set of exercises in any workshop context, and essentially getting them to express their thoughts in the most constructive way possible.